Welcome back to the Vulnerability is Cool podcast. I am your host, Jenna Jarvis. And this week we're going for cozy vibes. I started my period. I've been absolutely insane the past 2 weeks. And so thank the good Lord, I started my period. So now there's a reason for the craziness. I got sent these cute pajamas and socks by my friend Boa at Gravier and this blanket. And I was like, today we're talking about holiday boundaries. So I'm going to wear my Christmas pajamas in honor. And I just want cozy vibes because period, you know. It's hard, it's rough, but we are here. We're making it through. And yeah, I'm like so low on energy today and just chilling. So here we go. Talking all about holiday boundaries, which is so important to me because this is something that has changed my life so much. I grew up being such a people pleaser, which I've talked about so much on here. And like the whole theme of my podcast is just to help women and men fall in love with themselves. And really that's like my whole goal. And I think when you are able to live the life that you want and live for yourself, you're not so worried about what everybody else is thinking and making yourself be everything for everyone in the holidays and like just to the point that you don't even enjoy the holidays. Like that is not the goal here. And so I just want to talk about my journey. Growing up, like family was not super close. And I would often like go to friends' houses for Christmas or Thanksgiving or all the different holidays. And when I was home, like I just felt the need to like be there, even though like sometimes it had nothing to do with anyone else. Like I just didn't want to be there. Like I just didn't feel safe. I didn't feel comfortable, but I would just stay way too long. And then I'd be so drained and to the point that I really didn't enjoy the holidays. And so after going through therapy and just like learning so much about myself, I have learned like what my limits are and where I want to be and what times I want to be there and what times I don't want to be there. I've learned so much about expectations. I feel like for the holidays, we set such high expectations. And then when they're not met, it's like the worst thing in the world. But it's like we set those expectations. We did that to ourselves. So what the fuck? And I think especially like being an empath, boundaries are so hard, especially in the holidays, because it's like supposed to be this cheerful, exciting, fun time where everybody's like so connected. But a lot of the times that's like not what it is. And especially if you're like an empath and you don't have boundaries, you're just so drained to the point that like I used to not even look forward to holidays. I still sometimes don't really. And I think sometimes we think that like boundaries are to shut people off and say no to everybody, but really it's not. It's just to like protect your own peace and be respectful. And then also when you set these boundaries, people know what to expect from you. Like they know what you're expecting from them as well, which is so powerful because then there's no confusion and there's no like, oh my God, I stayed way too long, but I didn't tell them. It's like, no, you had clear expectations and you knew what you were getting out of it. And if you didn't get that, then you leave and you know, then everything's way better than all of this like confusion and all of this fluff. So some things that I do with holiday boundaries or just boundaries in general is number one, you got to move with confidence. Like you need to make up your mind already before you try to set a boundary with someone. Like you need to know what you actually want. Like who are you and what do you want out of this, you know? And so then you go into it with so much confidence. Like any decision you're making, like even when I left the church, I made sure to like really know what I was doing myself before I told anyone. So then it wasn't like I was being so doubtful, but I went forward and confronted my family and told them everything. And I did it with so much confidence that like people just respect you so much more. If you respect yourself, then other people are going to respect you. So if you show up with these boundaries and you're so confident, people like, of course, they're going to respect that. And if they don't, then you know what kind of person they are. And they probably, you know, we need to figure that out. That's for another time. So something that I'll do is I used to, like I said, spend so much time at places that I didn't want to be during the holidays and just like go out of my way to meet everybody's needs. And it would make me so miserable. So now like I have a time limit. Like I will let my family know, hey, like I'm coming over for an hour, you know, or I'm coming over for 2 hours, whatever I'm feeling, I'll just let them know. So like they know what to expect from me. They know that I'm not going to be there the whole day. So like whatever we're trying to do and they want me involved, like tell me what time you want me to come over and I'll come over at that time. And that's been really powerful for me because also I feel like I appreciate my time with my family so much more as opposed to like just being there so long and like feeling drained and then just going home like, oh. And I think it really depends on your family dynamic. But for sure, like setting time limits has been huge for me. And again, like I said, showing up with so much confidence in whatever decision I'm going to make. Something also that I like to do, because I am a people pleaser still, I really like to replace the word but with and. Okay. Yes, I will come and I'm going to leave by this time. Not, yes, I'll come, but I'm going to leave this time. Because I think it just totally changes like the energy of the conversation in a sense. Like it's so much more positive in a sense and optimistic of like, and I'm just going to leave by this time, just letting you know. It's not like bringing this like, but, like, and I've noticed when I do that in conversations, it goes way more smoothly every time. Then like another thing I'll do is I'll just make sure that my cup is filled first. So I used to wake up on Christmas and just like go straight to my family's house. First I'd like stay up all night wrapping presents and doing all the things. And then I'd go to my family's house and just be so drained. And now I don't do that. Like now I will wake up in the morning and I will maybe finish wrapping presents if I need to. And then I'll have my own little special time. Like I have been creating my own traditions over the past couple of years since I've been in therapy. And like little things I'll do is I'll wake up, I'll have my breakfast. I'll already be in my pajamas, but I'll like get a little bit ready so I feel like confident. And then I will watch a little Christmas movie, or like I'll make treats for someone and go take it to them. And then I'll go over to my family's house for whatever time I need to. And then I'll leave and I'll go. And it truly has changed so much for me. Just being able to be like, oh no, I'm going to do what I want to do today. I want to make today magical for me. And I know this can be hard when you have like kids and like a big family and even like a husband. It just changes the dynamic because I'm always solo when I'm doing all these things. But it's still so important to make sure you guys are doing what you want to do and putting your needs first, because if you're not, then you're just going to be drained and it's not going to be fun for anybody. Like even last Christmas, I did like a little meditation by myself and I just like was so grateful. And I just like wrote in my journal and I just spent time with myself and it was beautiful. And I don't know why I had this idea in my head my whole life that it's supposed to be this huge thing with like a huge family and you're supposed to do all these things. Like this past Christmas was so magical for me and I just spent it like chilling. And it was so beautiful, so beautiful. And then at night, like I go to a friend's house and hang out with them and it felt so much more like Jenna coded and so much safer for me mentally and emotionally. Like it's everything that I needed. And I will never settle for anything less ever again. So I was thinking of some questions that like if I was listening to this that I would have. One thing that I used to really struggle with is saying no without feeling guilty. And I think it's really important to know that feeling guilty doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong. It just means that you're breaking this habit of putting yourself last. And that's definitely not selfish. It's self-respect. And here's just like some examples of things that you could say that might not make you feel like super bad. I don't know. I always love to know like examples because I'm like, tell me exactly what to say. Please help me. And I think there's so much power in when I do give these examples of not over apologizing. Do not over apologize because then that makes it look like you are guilty, like you are doing something wrong when you're not. You're just setting boundaries and you're putting yourself first and prioritizing your own needs. So for example, I would say if I got invited to something and I just was like, I'm not feeling it, I would say something like, this sounds so amazing. I'm so excited for you. I'm trying to keep things a little bit more simple this year, so I'm not going to be able to make it, but let's catch up soon. And I think sometimes guilt in this sense can be a sign that you're growing. And I think it's important to reframe that guilt and ask yourself, am I saying no to them or yes to me? Like it's important to reframe that so you're like, oh, I'm just putting myself first. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not doing anything to harm them. And you can like reassure yourself of that, that you're just standing up for yourself. And the more you practice this, the easier it gets. If this happens and it doesn't go in the way that we'd want, like what if people push back or do try to make you feel guilty? I think these are some good ways to respond. I totally get that you're disappointed and I'm so sorry. I just need to do what's best for me right now. See the confidence. You got to go in with the confidence that will get them. Okay. I totally get that you'd want me to stay longer and I appreciate it so much, but I really need to get headed home. Or I understand that what's going on maybe isn't what you thought would happen, but this is my decision and I need to do what's best for me. And then you just need to remind yourself to like stay grounded and maybe in your head, repeat this before you're going to confront them or say whatever you're going to say. You can just say, I am setting this boundary so that I can enjoy the holidays. I am setting this boundary so I can enjoy the holidays, so I can be at peace. And I feel like sometimes this can be really scary, especially like if you've never done something like this. And I think something important to note is that drama thrives off of your reaction. if you're reacting and like showing that you feel so guilty and you feel so bad, then like they're going to see that and they're going to be like, oh, she feels guilty. Like, good. She feels guilty. Like, she should feel guilty. But if you're moving with so much confidence, and I know I'm going to say this 100 times, but just preaching to the choir here, like I really believe it so strongly. I think that staying neutral is going to be the best way to protect your energy. Just knowing what you're doing. And I think that's why it's so important to go in with expectations and let them know your expectations and your plans of what you're going to be doing, so nobody's let down, including you. In this situation, like if somebody's bringing something up about some family drama or something and they want you to engage in this conversation, these are some healthy ways that I would respond. I don't think this is the best time to talk about that. Let's just focus on enjoying today. Like, what are you looking forward to? Or like, what was your favorite gift? Or what are you grateful for? Or if someone's trying to like drag you in, just be like, I hear what you're saying and totally validate you, but I don't feel comfortable being part of this conversation. Or if tensions are rising, just say like, hey, let's take a breather and then come back to this when we need to. I think something that's helped me so much, like I even do this when I go into a scary movie, or like I'm just scared at night walking into my house or whatever's going on, or if I'm going into a place where I know there's going to be negative energy or a narcissist or something, that I just know that I will feel things. I will imagine like a clear bubble around me or a white light that is protecting me. And it sounds just like the smallest thing, but it has helped me so much. Like I do this all the time. Like anytime I'm feeling low, I'll try to connect back into my heart, and then I'll imagine this white light just surrounding me and going around, illuminating everything around me. And it helps so much. And just repeating, like, their energy is not mine to carry. Their energy is not mine to carry. And something important to note is that boundaries are about being clear. They're not about being mean. You can set these limits and these boundaries while still being kind and moving with kindness and moving with so much love. Because essentially you are setting these boundaries because you have so much love for yourself and for others, because you don't want to resent them or resent yourself for like working harder than you needed to. And something that's helped me so much is just being like using I statements instead of you statements. So I really need to go, instead of you're taking way too long, you're making this, you're doing this, like, hey, I'm feeling a little bit tired, I need to go. Like taking accountability for what's going on instead of putting it on somebody else. That will help your conversation go so much more smoothly. So for example, I love that this tradition is so special to you, but I'm choosing to do something different this year, where I'd love to help, but I have so much going on this year and I just need to prioritize what I can handle. And the thing that's so important to remember is that like people who love you don't want you to be drained, okay? They do not want you to be drowning in so many things and so many emotions. Like they want what is best for you. And sometimes disappointment is unavoidable, but that does not mean that you are doing anything wrong. You know, I think it's important too to like come back to the present moment. Like, hey, like I need to leave at this time. So like, let's make the most of the time we have right now, because disappointing others for a little moment is way better than disappointing yourself for an entire season. Okay. We're not trying to be so motherfucking drained by January. That is not the goal. And so like the more that I've practiced these things, like even the little things like saying and instead of but, and using I instead of you statements, I have become so much more confident. And like I truly enjoy the holidays so much more. Like they become so magical and so special to me. Like I almost feel like I get that like inner child giddiness again. And it's so beautiful. And it's because I am prioritizing what matters to me. And if the holidays are so magical, or they're supposed to be so magical, like we need to make them that way. And the way that we're able to do that is by prioritizing ourselves and doing the things that we actually want to do, instead of trying to run on empty constantly and wondering why we're not getting anywhere, you know? And like, even there's been years where like I had like no money, but I'm just buying these like extravagant gifts for people, and then I'm miserable and I can't pay for my own groceries. Like that was not a good time for me. And the energy that I was putting into those gifts, I'm sure it was filled with so much love, but like with so much more love and such better interactions if I could have been like fully present, because I'm eating and I'm taking care of myself and I'm loving myself, but it just wasn't. And so I feel like I've just learned so much about really putting myself first. And at the end of the day, I've learned that that is really, really what matters. We have to remember that boundaries are not walls. They're acts of love for yourself and others, so that you can show up as the best version of you and that you can honor other people too. Like when you start learning how to set boundaries, you will be so much more respectful of other people's boundaries, because you're like, hell yeah, like please put yourself first. Please tell me how you feel. So, because you know how it is to be so emotionally drained and you do not want them to feel that way. I would hope that like we can get that same respect in return from the people that we love, because they'll understand that. And if not, they're going to learn by seeing you do that, which is so powerful. And I wrote down some affirmations that I will be repeating this holiday season and that I just wanted to share with you guys because I just think affirmations are so powerful. And in the last episode, I talked a little bit about EFT tapping, like just tapping different points of your body, and it just really brings you into the present moment. And so if you want to do it with me, you can. But my first one I'm going to do is my energy is sacred and I protect it with love. My energy is sacred and I protect it with love. And then boundaries are a form of self-respect and I am worthy of that respect. Boundaries are a form of self-respect and I am worthy of that respect. I can give my best to others when I give my best to myself first. I can give my best to others when I give my best to myself first. It's okay to leave, to rest, and to say no. It's okay to leave, to rest, and to say no. I am allowed to prioritize my peace and still be loved. I am allowed to prioritize my peace and still be loved. So these are like, I'll put these affirmations in the description and I'll probably post them on my Instagram, but just repeating this to yourself and like bringing yourself back into the present moment with affirmations, I think is one of the most powerful things you can do. And I will say that and preach that till the day I die. I think words like spelling, Jimmy Rex said once, like words are like casting spells. The things you say are so important. And I think that repeating these affirmations to yourself and giving yourself these little reminders is so powerful. So please let me know how you protected your peace in this holiday season. And I hope you have the best Thanksgiving and Christmas and that you really, really put yourself first and you make it the best holiday for you. Little other things that like I would do in this time is like paint. Like I have cute paint by numbers and I'll just paint, like spend the morning with myself. And it's honestly kind of fun. Like sometimes last year I just sat in my apartment, like by myself. All my roommates are like at their friend's house, their family's house. And I'm just sitting there and it's like silent. It was so beautiful. And I'm just like, it just feels so magical, like Christmas morning. And I'm just sitting and, just painting. It's just so cute. Or like making little treats or wrapping presents and just really enjoying my own company. And I think that is so beautiful. And I want everyone to feel that way and really, really experience that for themselves. Yeah, I'm excited. And even like Thanksgiving, like if you wanted to spend the whole day alone or like go to Thanksgiving dinner, but then like do something that's so magical and so fun for you. And I'm just so grateful for you. And I feel like if I could have everyone in the world understand one thing, my favorite question ever, it would be that you deserve peace. You deserve to protect your peace too. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to enjoy this holiday season because you are magic and I love you. And I hope this episode gives you permission to show up for yourself this holiday season. I say these things in the name of mental health. Amen.